So I would like to introduce to you our next presenter, Cristiano Galvao. He will be showing us a pre-recorded session, but he is actually with us. So he'll be available to take Q&A in the chat or perhaps after the session recording is finished. Cristiano is a data analyst and instructor with a strong background in Excel, VBA, and Power Query, and has 2 decades of working experience in reporting. His mission is to help people organize data and translate it into meaningful and useful information. Cristiano is the founder of and organizer of the Excel Weekend, a major community conference about Microsoft Excel in Latin America. He also shares content about Excel tips and new features on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Hi, I'm Cristiano Galvão. I am an Excel instructor from Brazil, and I'm also Microsoft MVP in the same category as Excel. Today, we are going to talk about real-time stocks data in Microsoft Excel with RTD. Let's go. Here is a small piece of what we are going to see here in this session, and the video shows a real spreadsheet that I have been using to control my investments in stocks. The image is blurred by intent because this is a real spreadsheet with real data that I don't want to disclose. You can see that the data is changing really fast. It's because the data is coming in real time directly from my homebroker software, and I'm speeding up just a little bit to show you quickly before my introduction. My education is in computing. I have a bachelor degree in informatics, and I'm finishing an MBA in data science. I am Excel instructor for companies, and my first MVP award was received in 2020, the year of the pandemic. I ran the Excel Weekend event, and before the pandemic, I was running workshops at the Microsoft store in New York. I'm also a LinkedIn instructor. I have courses published on the LinkedIn Learning platform, and I'm also a very active member on LinkedIn. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, Excel Turbo. This is a set of pictures of the Excel Weekend in Brazil. We have a beautiful community, and look at the center. I'm there smiling at the side of Celia Alves and also Carlos Otero from Microsoft. But we are here for the real-time data. So, where to find them? If we are speaking of stocks, we may find data in real time from Yahoo Finance, Google Finance, Bloomberg, or Microsoft Excel. Yes, check the session Data Type Stock by John Carell on this event. Data type for stocks are not totally real time in the full meaning of the term because there is a delay, but for many purposes, it's totally useful and valid to use them. We are going to see some examples on this session here, including data types, although the focus here will be the RTD. First, speaking of real-time data into Excel, let's discuss a little about DDE, Dynamic Data Exchange. Dynamic Data Exchange was the old data exchange protocol of Microsoft Excel. It was widely used in old Microsoft apps, especially Excel, but DDE is now considered obsolete. It is not recommended unless you don't have any other alternative for real-time data into Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. It has some limitations, including crashes, concern about security, and the usage, just for comparison, was equal service pipe topic exclamation item. This is here for comparison between DDE and RTD that you are going to see on the next slide. Modern alternatives for DDE include APIs, add-ins, data types, and RTD that we are going to see now. So RTD is an Excel function. This is what you see when you use the formula assistant in Excel to write the RTD function. Don't worry about the arguments. Those are given by the manual of the tool you are using to bring the data. To make it possible to bring an Excel demo, let me open a home broker. This is the Fast Trade. It is a platform made in Brazil. I am not sponsored, not endorsing, but this is one of the tools that allows us to use RTD into Excel. Although this is made by a Brazilian company, you can choose the English language as soon as you log in. Feel free to use your preferred home broker, but make sure you have the manual to understand the possibilities of the RTD. This is how we use the RTD function in Excel to bring data from the Fast Trade software. And as you see, we have srv.rtd on the beginning. This is the name of the server. This is going to change as soon as you use another home broker software. The argument SQT is given by the manual, but ticker is the symbol that represents the stock. And the last one, the field, is the information you are going to bring. As you can see here, we have a list of fields including time, date, last, bid, ask, and others. Some of them are also provided by the Excel data types, but on this page now, you can see, for example, that we can bring the highest price from the previous day and the lowest price from the previous day as well. Those are not possible by using data types. Here is the software. I'm going to show you just a little bit. I have a panel here, including markets. I can check specific markets to bring all the stocks in that category with many information here. Different categories. Another one. Another one. It's in Portuguese, but don't worry, we could also explore other markets, including New York, for example. And of course, I don't want to do anything specific. The good news is I just need to leave the software open and we are not going to use it. Just open to make it possible to send data to Excel. Check it out. I'm going to create a spreadsheet from scratch. And here, let me write down some tickers that I know from Brazil. This is not investments recommendation, and it's here for educational purposes only. Let me write down the formula equal RTD as informed in the manual. I just copied and pasted, and you see that we don't have anything inside. But let's change the ticker to the value at the left cell, and then the field, let me use the last. Last is the last price. And here is the price updating each 2 seconds. We can change the speed of refresh by using a secret that I'm going to tell you later, but check this out. The prices will change accordingly. Let me correct this one here. And no. Yes, now it's updating. Now it's correct. The special settings that I told you. Application RTD throttle interval. This is a command that you should use inside VBA by pressing Alt F11, then Control G to write down here on the immediate window. Application dot RTD dot throttle interval equal 500. This is half second. This is in milliseconds. All right. This will make your controls to be more responsive and real time. Back to the Excel demonstration, you should be curious about the compatibility between RTD and dynamic arrays. Let's see. Instead of A2, let me lock this column and fill down the formula. Or even better, I could select all the range, and here is the array given by the dynamic concept. We have several results. Let me format, and we could have more than one field, but let me lock this with the F4 keyboard shortcut before I drag this formula to the right side. Let me call this interval as stocks. Stocks enter. Instead of this ugly thing, stocks. Much better. Then I want other formulas at the right side, but instead of last, I want other fields. Let me bring time, bid, ask, and last. No. QTT of quantity. Last will be here. Now we can name this upper range as fields. Then we may change here to fields, and voila, we have all the measures here. We can apply some formatting, and that's it. It's real time, and you may adjust your own throttle interval. Now look at this experiment. I'm going to try stocks data type. Oops. Once I do this, the RTDs will stop working. So let me undo and try another thing here. I'm trying to mirror the results and then stocks. Error again. We cannot apply the stocks data type over results that look as stocks. So let us prepare the column for the ticker here. Then we convert here. Okay, it will break the other formulas, but we have the data called ticker, the symbol, right? Now we have the tickers and we are going to use them inside the RTD. Now we can use dynamic arrays, the hashtag symbol, and then we have a dynamic array as a result. Very, very good. Here is another example based on that spreadsheet that I showed you on the beginning of the session. This is a template including data, stock, unities, price, investment. The investment is simple, just multiplying the numbers. The others are also simple, and the expenses field is a sum of the fees. The operation field is to detect the amount of times we operated with that stock. This is important for the tax returns in the end of the year. Let's go faster now. I'm inserting new movements. And now my wallet. The wallet reflects what we are operating in the history that I'm calling movement. I did something interesting here to detect a trend, to see if my stocks are reaching the maximum of that day or the minimum. So by looking to the squares, we can see the trend real time. I can zoom in the formula. You will see that I have some words in Portuguese. Quadrados means squares, pretas means blacks, squares again, brancas means whites. So we have a short calculation here and a repetition of the blacks, the whites, and also some reserved a special square for the invalids. This happens when we don't have data yet before the market starts. That's why the if error. If you want to know more about the calculation behind these squares, I recorded a video together with Carlos Barbosa, now Microsoft MVP as well. I explain in details all the parts of this formula by using line breaks and also drawing on the screen as I'm showing here. Check it out on YouTube. There is also this tab here in my workbook with lots of RTD, and this is an experiment about buying and selling recommendation. I'm changing here to English words, and of course, we should adjust the conditional formatting as well. So buy and sell, and let's see what we get by changing the stocks here. Let me insert new data again so that we can see new recommendations. I see lots of buying recommendations here, but any selling recommendation. That's because the market in Brazil is not going well recently. The prices are going down, and this spreadsheet is considering the stocks as opportunities. Well, I'm using the spread of bid and ask to see if the prices are very distant. It means that people are not wanting to make deals. The seller asks a high price, the buyer doesn't want to pay for that price. When we reach this point, we may have a recommendation, but I also consider the variation of the 12 last months, the semester, the quarter, month, and week. This is what I'm doing inside my formulas. And I get this information real time. That's why I cannot rely only on data types, because I need a faster update. So I get the data directly from my home broker software. This is another cool stuff that I'm doing here with a little of RTD and lots of random calculation and some tricks to try to simulate the line's behavior that sometimes look like waves, sometimes look like a roller coaster. This is for the trailing stop strategy, and it helps me to adjust the settings to try to preserve my gains in the long term and avoid the losses. We are reaching the end of this session, and I have some recommendations to you. Number one, use a home broker compatible with RTD to take advantage of the most recent capabilities in Microsoft Excel. RTD is way better than DDE. Bear in mind. Another one, real investments require knowledge in finance. This is a disclaimer, right? All information here is for educational purposes only. You should take your decisions by your own risk. Try to go deeper than you see here by creating nice scatter charts with trend lines, linear regression, polynomial regression, or even Python in Excel. The limit might be the sky. Excel has lots of new features that you could combine with RTD. A suggestion here, you can use RTD inside a table. If you put this data inside a table, you can analyze in Python. You can bring to Power Query and do lots of nice stuff, really good stuff. All right. Evaluations. Real-time stocks data in Microsoft Excel with RTD by Cristiano Galvao. This is the name of this session, so please follow the link or the QR code at this screen and provide your feedback. We really want to hear your opinion. My contact is Cristiano Galvão on LinkedIn and Cristiano at genexis.com. This is my email. Feel free to contact me if you enjoyed this session. The Microsoft Excel team is seeking research participants. By using the QR code on this screen or typing the link on your browser, you may help shape the future of Excel. That's it. Thanks for watching.